So yeah, so we're about to start the stream, and yes, so tonight I am with Tom, our beloved community manager, and he's going to be lurking in the chat, and he's also going to be the one answering me embarrassing question while I show you off everything that we can show you off tonight. So if you have any question, feel free to ask in the chat. If you have any comment, of course, too. If you have things you'd like to see or anything, just feel free to ask. And yeah, so the stream is most obviously going to be in English. Sorry to all my French viewers. Yeah, pardon pour tous ceux qui sont français et qui comprennent moins bien l'anglais. Donc pour toucher plus de monde, on va essayer de le faire en anglais. So, yeah, so sorry, that was just me saying to the French viewers that we were going to stream in English. And yeah, and you are going to like grasp the full extent of my awesome English accent and pretty much French. Yeah. So, yeah, so Dom, how are you doing?
I'm doing fine, actually. Cool. It's been a long day. I've been waiting for this for a day and a half, 2 days now.
Cool.
Show us what you're made of. Show us those rad skills you have developed while developing the game.
Yeah, okay, so let's get started. So if you didn't play the game for quite some time, in the last alpha we added this hub world, who's basically where you are going to upgrade your skills, because you can now have permanent skills that you will carry over different runs. It's a nice hub world. It's a bit strange because you can loop around and it's kind of like stuck in the void. Very strange. There is a little grandpa that is here sleeping for now, so it doesn't say much. Yeah, he dreams of pizza and not of cucumber. And so this is going to be an NPC that is going to tell you part of the story, because he's basically stuck at the same place as you, but he's in the ScourgeBringer for way more time than you. So he already adventured, he already had his own experience of the ScourgeBringer, and from time to time he's going to tell you what's going on here, and like, oh, you went there, so when I was there, this happened. So it's one of the way we are going to have to tell you about the story of the game and the lore. Yeah, so there is also going to be other kind of NPC and ways to get into the story, but we're not quite there yet. So yeah, so you can access from here the skill tree. Yeah, and so you have skills that you can unlock. It can range from getting more max HP, having the ground pound attack when you dash on the ground, so this is going to be a permanent skill. If you previously played the game, this was unlocked from the start, so now it's something you have to unlock. Getting more blood altars, getting more HP, fast travels, and some more stuff. So here we have a new branch that we are going to be able to unlock if we beat the first boss. So for now I have 9 skill points, so I'm going to spend them to unlock this branch here, and I'm going to go through the different skill. So this skill allows to clean up all bullets when you use the special attack. This one is going to make all the money that you accumulated during a run to transform into skill points if you have enough of them. This one allows to break the combo slower when you are playing. This one makes your combo multiplicator to increase automatically each time you clean up a room. This can, when you do a special attack, you can convert all the bullets that are on the screen into your own bullets to refill your gun. So I can't unlock skills from the fourth branch, and I don't know why, because I've added something into the Alpha 5 to automatically unlock them, but that's not an issue. So yeah, so let's get going. So we are going to start a new run and see if I'm going to be able to beat the first boss and hopefully get into the second world, but hopefully that should be okay. So we did quite a few tweaks to menacing, mostly anything that is about the smash. So we tweaked the smash, we tweaked the physics of the smash, and also everything that is the controls and the air control of everything about the smash, so that you have way more fine control over it, because in Alpha 5 the smash is going to be maybe the single most important attack of the game, and you will see when I'm going to unlock the different skills that are going to be implied. So, oh cool, starting with an altar, so I'm going to check what I'm going to start. Yeah, so most obviously our skin getting more HP is one of the best starter. So I'm going to play a bit fast so that you can go really... So these are new monsters, so if you know this room from the previous alpha, so now we have those very big guys. And these big guys are alpha monsters. They are very big version of existing enemy, and most of the enemies in the game will have their own version. So here we are. So we are going to go straight to the minibus. We made some changes to the minibusses, so now you can't quite stun lock them. You can have them in one go. So this minibus, if you get it, you won't be able to like continuously smashing it, because it's going to not wait and teleport away. We also change what is the default attack is going to do from the start. So it's not going to start automatically from the middle of the screen anymore. It's going to reach the corners and try to be less predictable. So getting this room again. In the next version of the game we are going to revamp how levels are generated, because you may have noticed that we often get into twice the same rooms, or maybe more. And we want to avoid that, most obviously. So we are going to change this. We are going to make the game to try to not pick the same room twice.
So, if you allow me to peek up here really quick.
Sure.
We got a nice question in chat from Mara Mori.
Yeah.
Do you gain iframes when you hit enemies in melee range, or is there just no contact damage at all?
Iframe from what?
When you hit enemies in melee range, so I guess the typical sword attack.
Yeah, I get it. There is no iframe, but there is many tricks in place. I'm not sure if I can really talk about them, because it would like reveal some maybe holes in the gameplay. No, I don't think so. But when you get into melee range from an enemy, and if he's going to be about to attack, the game kind of like acknowledge that you are engaging into a melee attack with a possibly attacking enemy, and the game tries to like avoiding the fact to shooting at you when you are in this kind of situation. So the more, it's kind of like the more you attack a monster that is about to attack you, the more you are maybe able to delay his hound attack and maybe cancel it. And most obviously you have to be very attentive to the exclamation mark appearing on the monsters, because this is where the counter can happen and you have to use your smash attack. But yeah, there's not quite iframes, but there is another kind of mechanism that is going to allow you to not get like ganged by enemies if you are like going into melee. But it's an interesting question because it enters into the quite technical stuff of what we achieved with the controls and the physics and all the little small things that are hidden, but which makes the game better, I think.
Oh, it definitely makes the game better, I guess. It's at least a ton of fun when I play.
Okay, so here we have now a bigger one. And I need to find the boss room. Okay, I don't have the boss room yet, but I've lost many HP. And fortunately I can buy all of this. Okay, where is the boss room? Oh, here it is, convenient. And we are going to go straight to it. So we made some changes to the bosses as well. Mostly into how he's going to change his attacks. So we tweaked a bit his attack table, like what percentage of chance does it have to do what kind of attack after some certain attacks and so on. But we didn't tweak anything regarding the attack, so it's basically the same, and you can see that I'm not very good at my own game.
Are you sure you didn't tweak anything? It looks like you did tweak a couple things, or I might just be as bad as you are, getting hit by a couple of those attacks from the bodybuilder.
I'm going to finish it with a special attack, and here we go. I'm maybe going to go get the weapon. What was it? Straight shotgun. Yeah, that should do it. And we are going to go into the world 2 with 2 HP, which is kind of bad. So this is, new world, world 2. It's an icy world with enemies that are dropping from the air with lasers. And it's a way more difficult level. Because it makes use, or at least it tries to make you use a new skill. And we will see that if I manage to unlock and buy the skill. So we have this little jellyfish, which are kind of annoying because they are firing lots of smaller bullets and I need to get to it without getting hit. So here the idea is to go as fast as possible, of course, to get the most annoying enemies first. Okay, yet again the same room. So, like I said, we are going to add more rooms to the game and also try to make the rooms to appear less. Twice the same room, I mean. Oh wow, that's very inconvenient, getting nothing but the same rooms. There is like 40 different rooms, but we've seen something like only 2 for now. Oh crap. Oh crap.
Speaking of the rooms, since we did have questions earlier regarding monster spawns and how they work, are all rooms generated procedurally or are they created by you guys beforehand?
All rooms are created by hand. And I'm going to show that after the gameplay. We are going to go through all the editors and tools that we made and check everything that is, the different tools. So each room are manually designed and the levels themselves are like generated differently. What I'm going to do is exit the game and use my developer superpower to try to change a couple of things to unlock the new skill branch, which is strange because I thought I had it into the game, or maybe I didn't. Well, so let's unlock this. So I need to get into my game settings. game states. I'm going to cheat into loading my game save. So here I have unlock skill branch, and I'm going to unlock it right to 4 and restart the game. And it didn't start on the right window, so here it is. Let's go into full screen. Here we are. Okay. So now we should have our 4th skill branch unlocked, and I'm going to unlock everything on it. So the single most important skill that we have is the parry. So now with the smash attack you can parry bullets, and if you upgrade it to the max you can even throw back bullets at enemies, and it's going to be a ton of fun. It's very cool. There is also raining blood, so it makes the bosses drop more skill points. Dirty Barry makes you start the game with a enhanced revolver. And Manual Override allows you to choose a damage zone when you do the special attack. So now that I have this skill, it should be way smoother. Because being able to parry attack is something very, very cool and useful.
And while you combo your way through World 1, why don't you tell us what all those meters on the left of your screen are good for?
Oh yeah, so on the left there is everything that is related to the drone and the gun. So you can fire with the drone, and it refills its bullets basically on hitting enemies. So there is this blue bar that is increasing, and every time it's full I can get bullet back. So it's a system to make something like a trade-off between powerful ranged attacks that are kind of limited and forcing you into getting into fights to get back your powerful attack. So, and now I can throw back bullets, which is way more convenient. And we are going to go up there. So we changed also... yeah, sorry. Go on.
No, you go ahead.
Yeah, what I was about to say is that we also changed how the aiming assist work. Like when you dash on something or when you fire with a drone. We made it more accurate and hopefully more intuitive to use. And I'm really bad. I'm bad at my own game.
You're not bad. You're showing the perfect average player right here. So what I wanted to ask was, where was the question? Where was it? I've lost it. Give me a second here. Right, there it is. So does every enemy in the game have an alpha version?
Not all. We are trying to, but let's say that the most common enemy are going to have an alpha version.
Does that mean we're getting an alpha worm?
Not for now, but there may be going to be an alpha worm, yeah.
Good, good.
An alpha worm that when you kill it, it's going to like explode in many, many worms.
Right, you can do that?
We can do that.
Ooh, that must be new.
We added quite a bunch of features to our game editor, and I'm going to show them right after. And mainly is having weapons able to spawn other enemies.
That most definitely sounds very intriguing.
Oh crap. I was willing to like smash bullets, but I've been trapped into my own trick. I'm not going to make it. Come on.
So someone's asking if it's intended that there is a lot of common ground with Monolith, and I'm just going ahead and will say that Monolith has been one of your bigger inspirations, so it is most definitely intended to some degree.
Yeah, sure. Sure, Monolith is a very cool game. If you haven't played it, I would likely highly encourage you to try it, because it's a very cool roguelike game with a very tight scope. And what we really like into the game, it was mostly that it was very readable, and you always have everything you need on screen, and that's one of the things that inspired us into making rooms with no scrolling at all, because it's very cool when you have a very skill-based game that you have everything you need on your screen and on site. There is no like threat coming from anywhere else. And yeah, Monolith is very cool. It's very cool. So you should all play Monolith, and I'm going to check each of you if you've played Monolith. I am going to use yet another one of my developer's superpower. I am going to jump straight into World 2, so we can see more of it. And here we are, and full screen. Yep. Waiting for the... Yeah. Okay, cool. Okay, let's jump right into World 2. And here we are. Yeah, developer shitcom. So now that I have all my skill, I am going maybe to be able to play a bit better. Maybe not that much, but hopefully. Okay. So these two monsters both have an alpha version. We're most likely going to see that soon. Okay, so here we have the alpha version of the jellyfish, which creates other fishes. And I first need to get over this laser, which is kind of annoying. And the cool thing when you have the counter skill is that you can just use all those bullets to throw them back at enemies. And here we go. So that's basically what jellyfishes are for. They're basically bullet generators, and it's supposed to kind of like teach you how to use your newfound ability. So here we have the alpha version of the Red Devil. Oh, there is a missing door. Okay, here we have a wall that is supposed to be a door, but is not a door, so that is most obviously some missing tiles. That's fun.
Well, one for the bug log.
Yeah. So what you want to do basically with the jellyfish is to wait for them to throw bullets and use their own bullets against themselves. Yeah, and the enemy, the little spike enemy that is on the sailing, you can also smash it back at other enemies. And if you manage to do that, it's going to do a lot of damage. It's almost capable to like one-shot almost all enemies in the game. It's quite difficult to do, but if you can do it, it's very powerful.
I gotta admit, that was the first time I've seen that happen. So, seeing how you're trying to survive against the laser enemies, can you actually parry those as well?
No, the lasers are the only thing that you can parry in the game.
Okay, but I mean, you do have the telegraph beforehand, so
Yeah.
you can avoid them. And yes, all the sound effects and all the music, everything is Jonas's work.
Yeah, sure, of course. Yeah. So Jonas has been doing all the sound design, all the music, and he's been creating all of them. Like every single sound has been crafted with special care. Yeah, and Jonas did a video quite recently to explain how the music from the title screen has been made. Because the music from the title screen is kind of dynamic and generative, because it's never quite the same if you let it run. So this is one of the new mini-boss. So he's going to try to rush at you, and what's cool is that when you have the skill, you can use it against, and you have to avoid his laser attack. No! Ah, yeah. So that can happen if you try to like move it while he's preparing his laser attack. You can like place it in somewhere very not convenient. So you have to pay attention to when you are going to smash it.
So we have someone asking if the icy tiles have an ice behavior, so if they make you slide if you walk over them.
No, they don't. We tried and it didn't felt quite right, because one of the strengths of the game is that you are in full control of what you are doing with your character, and if you start having something that impair the way you move, it feels very weird and it feels very unfair. So we didn't do it, but what we are going to do, or what we are currently trying to do, is to make each environment unique in some way, like having some special dangers or specific stuff to each environment. But ice is not going to like change anything related to movement. We are maybe thinking to do something. Florian has been like maybe thinking about making all the ice tiles to reflect bullets, and we are still thinking about this. So here in the middle we have an alpha version of the lasers, and it is totally going to wreck me. And I would like to show you at least the boss in the level.
Don't forget you still have your Fury token.
Ah, yeah, sure, thanks. Maybe I'm going to get some HP here. 1 HP back, yeah. But I get also 1 Fury token and an SMG. Ooh. Okay, so we need to find the boss door. Is it doable with 2 HP? Whew, this one was close. So what am I doing? Oh, crap. So the person who is making all the rooms is mostly for Florian, and he likes to put a lot of enemies everywhere. Oh no! Oh, that was the shittiest death possible. Just walking into a little bullet.
And you had 2 Fury tokens.
And I had 2, yeah. And now I have 1. I'm just going to overuse it. But that was not quite useful. So there is a mini boss right after. And if I'm lucky enough, we are going to find the boss very soon after.
Steve says if you die with Fury tokens, you die in shame.
Yeah, true. Oh, that was like the perfect setup. And yeah, so we are also thinking about like redoing a bit how the Fury work, because using token, we don't quite believe it's going to be quite that useful. We are thinking about making the Fury maybe something like an ultimate attack, like in most games these days. I mean, having something like a timed cooldown, and when it's ready, you can reuse it, and maybe having items to refill it instantly. We'll see. We are going to try stuff, but yeah, we don't quite like to want to have, yeah, I mean tokens to have to buy or find back and so on, because you may be limited with this. We are going to see. We are going to try things and going to figure out what's the best things to do. So this is a new boss, and most obviously is a lasers user, and it's a bit harder to find the others, and he's not supposed to do this attack right now. And of course you can throw back bullets at bosses too. This one is a bit difficult to avoid. Oh crap! Oh no. Oh no. He's quite angry at me right now. No! Okay, here we go.
Good job.
Yeah, cool. So that was a run of the second level. And yeah, so that's basically the content that you are going to have in the new alpha, which is going to release in 2 days on Friday. And now what I wanted to do is to show you all our tools, because recently I made a tweet to show our boss editor, and a lot of people asked us, how does this work, and what are the other kind of tools that you've been making. So we made an engine for this game and also for our previous game, Neuroider and so on. And for ScourgeBringer, we made more tools. So here is our editor, so it can do a lot of things. It can edit maps, it can edit bullets, it can edit weapons and bosses. So we have the first panel is about rooms. So like I said before, everything that is room is handcrafted. So here we have all the rooms of World 1. Here we have all the rooms of World 2. And we are already working on World 3, so this is going to come a bit later. And it's basically the most simple thing. it's a tile editor. So you grab tiles on a tile set, and you just have to put tiles on the map. So it works pretty much like anything that is like tiled, or any stuff like RPG Maker, if you ever like try to do tile map or 2D tile maps. So that's a tool that we made and allows you to do stuff. You can select other kind of tile sets. You can have, let's check. No, I'm going to have in tile set 1. So you have animated tile sets, and the animated tile sets are fully automatic. I mean, if I'm going to find the torch, here is a torch. If I put the torch, it's automatically animated. So because we have a file that describes what is the tile set and what are the different tiles composing an animated tiles. And it's the same thing with the interactive tiles. So going here. And so the interactive tile, like the grass, it's the same thing. So if I grab here some grass and put it here, I'm going to just to be able to jump to it directly, and it's going to animate. So when we make tools, what we want is that it's as straightforward as possible, as simple as possible, and to have everything to be directly rendered into the engine and directly, I mean, playable, and of course directly what it's going to be into the game, so that you don't have to like put tiles, generate a game, launch the game, try the game, and stuff. So I am playing with the gamepad. So everything in our editor is interactive. You can play directly, and you can do stuff. It's directly the game. So that's very cool. And the other cool thing about this is that you can place enemies directly into the game. So here I have my enemy, and if I want like to put an enemy of world 2 into it, I would just like put it here and click. And now what I can do is just click on test, and the game is going to put the enemies directly. So they are fully playable. The game generates the different waves that you have in game and so on, and so you can directly test within the editor how the rooms are. And that's a huge time saver, because when we craft rooms, when we craft challenges, we don't have to go out of the editor.
Thomas, if you don't mind me interrupting you.
No, please do.
Chat is saying that the game audio in the editor is much louder than your voice,
yes,
so you might want to turn that down.
Yeah, sorry. I'm going to... where is my... Here, so game editor. Here we are. So I've like down it to almost minimum, and it should be better. Okay. Yeah, so everything that we do, we want things to be directly playable into our engine, into our editor. It's a huge gain of time, and if we want to design lots of rooms, like maybe 100 per world, we must be able to do everything in a very fast way. Like if you have an enemy to tweak, or maybe waves of enemy to change, we can just like pop the editor, test it, and remove it directly into the editor, test into the editor. We don't have to go back into the game and see what's wrong. So that's very, very important and cool. And we can test everything. So if I go into world 2, I can go back to where is it? Room 19, which is the minibus, and I can just like test the minibus directly into the game, into the editor. Yeah, so that's pretty much what I can say about making maps. So it's kind of straightforward, and we can do all kind of stuff. So if I want, I can like put the 2 minibosses of the game, and it kind of bugged because this miniboss is not made for this room, for this specific room. But I can do every kind of stuff. On the second panel, we have a map generator, which is basically the algorithm we use to generate levels. And we can adjust different kind of parameters to make them more of different shapes. I can't remember what are the colors, but basically I think that the blue is the spawn point, the red is the room, the boss door, pink should be shops, I believe, and the brown are bosses, and the altar are not there yet, but you get the idea. So this helps us to make like different kind of shapes per environment. So we can do like this kind of shape, and this helps us to visualize what the different maps are going to be in game. And then we have a Buret Editor. So the Buret Editor basically is for editing everything that is the most simple thing about a weapon. For instance, if a weapon fires 10 bullets, we have to define what's one bullet. How does this bullet react? And we can do many fancy stuff with it. So I'm just going to change this. We can change its time to live. Sorry, I almost slipped some French word right now, but and yeah, the time to live. So if I put it to 1 second, the bullets are going to die after 1 second. So we can do different things with this. I can change how does it look. So I can use this weapon, and they have different kind of particle when they die and so on. I can change their speed. I can make them very fast. I can make them much slower. I can make them have an acceleration. And the acceleration makes them accelerate through the life. And I can also do fancy stuff like an angular velocity, which basically makes them to turn around when they move. So that's the kind of stuff that we don't quite use quite often, because it makes the bullet less predictable, and it's kind of important in very bullet heavy games that you know where the bullets are going to go and know the trajectory. We can also do some interesting thing, because if I move this around and change the direction to here, I can hit the physics-based acceleration is going to be area. So I can tell that a bullet is physics-based, and it's going to act like a ball. If you throw a ball, it is subject to gravity and to the energy you put into the throw, and also to the friction of the air. So you can manipulate all those values. So this is going to be the gravity. The acceleration is going to be the gravity, and the air friction is going to be how much does the air impair the movement of something. So, and with all of this, we can do some very fancy stuff. We can also tell if the bullets explode into multiple other bullets. So that's what we call clustering. And for instance, if I go into my revolver bullet and tell that this bullet breaks into 10 different bullets, it's going to break into 10 different. And I can also define what is the angle between each of these bullets. So if I was going to try to... Okay, it's not quite visible. I'm going to remove the physics. Okay, here you go. So you can do stuff like this, like defining what is the angle between each bullet that is going to break into multiple other bullets and so on. So it's a very, very powerful editor. And you can also change other kind of stuff. You can add program to a bullet. I mean, for instance, we have something that we call actions. And let's say that I want this bullet to maybe change its angular velocity only after some time. For instance, if I'm going to add an angular velocity after, let's say, 1 second, and hopefully we are going to see that. Yeah, so you can see that the bullet after 1 second is going to change. And it's also going to change its scale because I forgot to... I'm going to replace values. And... Okay, so it's acting a bit weird, but I think that you get the picture. We can program bullets. We can have sequences on bullets and make all kind of fancy stuff. I'm not sure if we are ever going to use any of the fanciest feature for ScourgeBringer, but the interesting thing is that we now have like a bullet editor to make any kind of stuff with the bullet. Yeah, so if you hear something beeping, it's just my dishwasher who just finished. And yeah, so we have a lot of things going on. You can edit lasers. This is the rotating lasers of the Minibus. This is instant lasers. And then you have the weapons. And the weapons are basically what's going to use the different bullets. And we can use them into different ways. So here it's a bit strange because I broke most weapons. But for instance, this is a machine gun, this is the basic revolver, the SMG, the triple machine gun, the minigun, the enemy weapons, the straight shotgun, and yeah, and we also have the possibility to have bullets that create other enemies. So this, for instance, is the weapon of the alpha version of the jellyfish. So it can fire eggs that are going to explode into other enemies. And here you have it. And the biggest thing that we did is probably our bus editor. So I'm just going to switch to the room of the bus, which is this one. Okay, I'm going to remove the grid and the colliders. So this is our bus editor, and it is basically a timeline-based animation tool. So if you ever played with software like Flash, Flash was something pretty much based like this, and it's one of the inspirations that made us do this. And of course there is softwares that allows you to do exactly that, like Spine. And we did our tool because we wanted to have something that is bloat-free, because Spine is very cool, but it comes with a lot of bloats that we don't need. And it's also a third-party software that we don't quite have a hand on. And we want our game to be very portable to new platforms. So for instance, if tomorrow a new console comes out, we must be able to port our game in a very fast way. So for that, we develop our own tech, and we try to rely less on third-party stuff, which doesn't mean that the third-party stuff are very cool. And Spine, for instance, is very cool stuff. But we had special needs. We wanted to plug different kind of events into what Spine could do. And we also needed a solution that is pixel perfect, because we wanted ScourgeBringer to be pixel perfect. And we wanted to plug different kind of stuff, like the sound directly into the timeline, screen shakes, weapons, all kind of stuff that Spine didn't quite allow us to do, or at least we would have to develop a solution on top of Spine. And for me, who didn't know quite about Spine and how it integrates and developing stuff, it was way more efficient and convenient for me to make our own timeline-based editor. And also for Florian, because now we have something which is dedicated and it is fully integrated into our engine, which means that while we develop bosses and while we animate them, we can test them directly and we can check if everything is correct. So it's a timeline-based editor. We can run animation. So this is the idle animation of the second boss. And I can select other kind of stuff like this attack. And if I play it, so as you see, you can like play attacks and so on. And you can like see every frame of your animation, and you can also see the trajectory here. And what's cool is that you can live edit the trajectory. So if I grab my endpoint, this is a Bezier curve, and I can basically change what is the passing of the boss. And I can also change what is the different easing. So if you are familiar with easing, it's how going from one point to another point is going to be smoothed out, which means when you move a point from A to B, you have the choice of having a linear movement, which means that the point has a constant speed from point A from point B, or you can have an acceleration or a deceleration, and you can have tons of kind of movements like this, and that's what we call easing. It's basically how do you interpolate points from points. And so the Bezier curve helps us to make the pass, and the easing helps us to make how fast and how with what kind of acceleration and deceleration the enemy is going to move. And it makes movement way more natural and less like robotic. I don't know, but and basically when you have all those animation, you can define keyframes and tells from here my enemy is here and here my enemy is here, and I don't have to tell the game where my enemy should be on each frame. For instance, here my enemy is at this place, and I just have to define a keyframe here at 20 that my enemy is here, and the game creates automatically the interpolation of the movement where it should be. And that's what the Bezier curve is for, and the easing is for. And I can do everything. I can also make rotation. So if I make a keyframe here and make a keyframe here, I can define a rotation and I can make my boss rotate. So now I have completely break the animation, but I think that you get the idea. And of course, it is fully integrated into the game. So if I hit play, I can play directly the boss fight with a preview of the animation, and I can like live debug the different animations directly. And it's very useful because it allows us to check if a boss is working correctly, if the attacks are correct and not too difficult or not too easy. And we have here the attack table of the enemy, which basically is what kind of attack with what chances the boss is going to do, depending sometimes of conditions. Most of the time it is HP. And so for instance, this boss has two phases. He has a phases above 50% of his HP and a phase under 50%. And under 50% is going to use attacks that are bigger, they are all heavy. And so we have the same attack with different variations, with more bullets or faster and so on. The idea was kind of designing bosses kind of like in a Dark Souls or in Bloodborne, or the later Dark Souls, the third one, for instance. And because if you played this game, I don't know if you noticed, but most bosses have hidden phases. When you enter into the battle, the boss is going to make you some of his pattern, but not all of them. And the more you get into the fight, the more the boss is going to make you different patterns, more complex versions of its previous pattern. And this is very cool because the boss kind of teach yourself how it works before unleashing its full power and going into testing yourself. And that's a very cool way of designing bosses, we think. And so that's what we tried to do. So all the bosses of ScourgeBringer are going to kind of try to first get you into the fight by make you like his smoothest attack, and then it's going to increase the difficulty and get into some more heavy stuff. And that's basically it. That's basically what we can show to you. So we went through the game. I showed you all our tools. So that's basically all the tools that we have for the game. This allows you to make mostly everything. The only other thing that we have in the game are text files. I mean, for instance, all the enemies are defined into JSON file. And for instance, this is the first minibus. So the first minibus is defined by this. So this is a list of animation, all the animations that you have, where the animation are in its sprite sheet, how many frames that does every animation has, what is the timing of each frame, and then we have behaviors parameters like how many HP, what weapon does it have, how many time it has to anticipate an attack, how fast does it move, how frequently does it move, how does it try to move. Here we have an AI move type of teleporting, which means that it's the first miniboss who's teleporting, but we have other kind of enemies. Like for instance, the second miniboss has a free moving and center behavior, which means that it's going to try to move around, and when it does its bigger attack, it's going to try to go to the center of the room. And we have all kind of stuff. So here is the alpha pink devil, who is following the player and firing randomly. So that's basically how we make enemy. We don't have an editor for enemy because the enemy is not something that we edit quite often. Once we have an enemy done, we don't quite come back to it, only to fine-tune one or two values. We don't need to have an editor to fine-tune only one or two values. So we only make editors for things that are complex and that we do very, very often. And that's what all our everything is for. And of course, everything must be interactive, and you must be able to play everything. So when we edit stuff, we only have to click on save, and it's exported right into the game. So if I quit and start back the game, it's directly built into the game. So it's pretty easy for us to make new builds of the game, and well, so that make it for what I wanted to show you today, and if you still have questions, or if there is any more questions, we can still go through it. And if you have any more things you want me to do, I don't know. If you want me to play some Earth Defense Force, I can play some Earth Defense Force, but I don't think that you would all be about like seeing me playing Earth Defense Force. But
We do indeed still have a couple questions. So
yeah, sure, please go on.
First of all, are you planning to make your editing tools available for the masses for, let's say, modding?
That's something that crossed our mind, because we are trying to make the editor as simple as possible to use, as if anybody could be able to use them, because the more simple they are, the better they are, even for devs, and that's important. For now, we don't know, because the tools are not quite ready yet for public use, because they are very bound to the game itself. I mean, right now, if you edit files, you are going to edit the main files of the game. So you are going to break the main campaign of the game. So what we have to do is to make a real mod support. I mean, if we give you tools and you create files or edit files, it should not erase your game. It should like create a parallel or something that adds on top of the existing game. And for now, we don't have this kind of support. We don't have everything that is mod detection and loading mods and so on. It takes time to make everything like this. And for now, we don't have this time, but maybe after the release, so who knows. So for now, I can promise about releasing our tools, but after the release, if we do have time to fine-tune the tools and add a mod support, we would most likely do it, yeah.
Awesome. Next question is, what program do you use to create all your sprites?
Sprites. I don't know if I have Sprite on my PC. I should maybe have it. I don't know where it is. Sprite. Yeah, Sprite. So I'm going to launch Sprite and try to show you how does it look. Where's my OBS? Here it is. So this is Sprite, and I'm going to try to open up my PC projects. No, data, Dropbox, ScourgeBringer, recherche, enemies, and here we have a lot of sprite files. And for instance, Red Demon, warning, unsupported chunk. I don't know what this is. Yeah, I don't think this is an animation file. Hold on, open, Jelly. Okay, I think I have an outdated version of Sprite compared to what Florian is using, but basically, this is probably the best tool to make pixel art graphics. You can also make the animation. You can have a timeline of all your frames. You can have different kind of features like onion skins, if you know what this is. It's basically having a ghost frame of your previous animation frames while you are painting the new one. So it helps you to have like a sense of the movement and see what are the differences. This is what Florian is using, and he's been using Photoshop on our previous game, Neurovoider, but since he knew about sprites, is now using exclusively sprites. Photoshop is not even started anymore. It's not useful. So if you're making pixel art game, sprite is the way to go.
All right. Another question we have more towards balancing the game, actually. If the alpha jellyfish can spawn infinite jellyfish, if there's like no limit at all, and every of those normal jellyfish drops blood, you could potentially use that.
farm them. Yeah. It's limited. Actually, when in the editor, when we design a weapon that is creating new enemy, we have a value that we use to tell what is the maximum amount of enemy that this weapon can create at once on the screen. And this allows us to not have something that gets overwhelming. And yeah, so we limit things. And when the weapon can't fire new enemies anymore, the enemy will know it and is going to not fire anymore. So it's going to wait until you have killed at least one enemy for it to like generate another one.
Awesome. Another question that we just got is, did you have a background in programming before working on Neurovoider, ScourgeBringer, Boo, etc.? You seem to really know your way around code, creating tools, gameplay. You must have had some sort of industry experience, for example. There's no way you learned all that on your own, right?
Right. Before making our first game with Franger Game, I've been a programmer for many years already. I mean, it's almost now. I have about 10 years of cumulative C# experience, and I've started to make games back in 2003, I believe. So that's now quite some time. And I've been first using XNA, if you know about it. And that's basically what we are still using today, because that's what I get most of my experience from. I've made computer science studies and also cognitive science study. So I have a background I have a master's degree in computer science and stuff related to cognitive science. So I've been a programmer for many years before actually professionally jumping into game making. And yeah, so yeah, I don't have this from nowhere, but I've been someone very curious about. I mean, I've learned a lot on my own during my studies, in parallel to my study, because I've become like a big fan of C# and XNA, and that these are things that wasn't quite taught during my studies. So I bought books, I read tutorials online, I engaged with the XNA community, and started to talk to other devs and trying to do stuff for them and so on. So I kind of started to try to make games for quite some time. So if you accumulate all those experiences, I now have maybe more than 10 years of using C#. So I'm very comfortable with making tools and actually programming stuff, and yeah, so I'm really not at the starting point, if I would put it like this.
Yeah, I know how my Unity stuff looks when I get the chance to do anything, and it's night and day code-wise. What does ScourgeBringer mean? Is it something in French?
ScourgeBringer. No, it's absolutely 100% English. So Scourge, the Scourge. Scourge is like, it's like a punishment. It's like a calamity or a judgment that is cast upon you. And so ScourgeBringer is basically the name that the human gave to this monolith thing that you go into in the game. So the game actually is within this strange blocky thing that you have in the sky. And it's basically something that came on Earth and almost wrecked everything. And we don't know what it is. And the human called it the ScourgeBringer because they don't know what it is and they feel like it's a kind of punishment. So it's a scourge. And the monolith is the ScourgeBringer. And some French people will maybe joke about the word scourge because if you pronounce it directly into French, it could be pronounced scourge. And scourge is kind of close to the word courge. And courge is basically not a cucumber, but it's like a zucchini. I mean, I don't even know how to say courge in English, but I know that there is a word. But and so French joke about it because they think like it's like cucumber bringer. So in French it sounds kind of weird, and we're making lots of joke with this.
Awesome. People are also asking. Well, they're not asking. They're saying they want to play this game, and
Cool.
there might be a way, isn't there?
Yeah.
Remind me.
Absolutely. Yeah. So the game is currently available, and in alpha version. You can jump right on our Discord, and if you go on our Discord, you are going to notice there is a channel that is called Alpha Access, and we are giving away free access to the alpha version because we need to have feedback, we need to have testers to balance things out, to check if everything is ready, and so yeah, please be welcome. Please join our Discord, and it's as simple as typing one command into a channel to get into the alpha. We are unlocking new alpha access every week or so, and if you drop by and if you just say hi from time to time, you are most likely going to get an access to the alpha very, very quickly.
I gotta mention, there also hasn't been a drop this week yet. I am saving that for Friday, so if you would like to test Alpha 5 and want to hope to get lucky, there is still chances to do so.
Yeah, and I also should add that if you want to get a key, Dom is the person to bribe.
Yes, please bribe me. I accept pizza bribes, but I am not a friend of pineapple pizza.
Oh. Yeah, and if you drop by our Discord, you can also side to your pizza clan. I mean, you can choose if you are team pineapple or team without pineapple, and you can wage wars on other people who likes or like not pineapple.
Right, we do have that. I remember. Let's see, what else do we have? Right, how do you do designs for the game? Do you sketch them out beforehand, or do you just jump right in and,
So
get lucky?
Yeah. So I am not the designer. I am mostly everything that is related to code and everything else. And so our colleague Florian is making all the graphics design, and is mostly like jumping directly into Sprite. He has a few references. Usually what he does is that when he has an idea or a concept, he look it up on Google Image and just check what are the general moods and colors that are associated with this ID, and then he jump back directly into Sprite and he try to design things directly with the mouse on pixels. He's not using like a pen or a tablet, a graphic tablets and so on. He's directly using a mouse. It's kind of strange because when he's doing normal illustration, when he's like doing digital painting, he uses a pen. But when he does pixel art, he uses a mouse. He often tells me that he's way more comfortable using a mouse when he's doing pixel art because it's not about like painting. It's more about like illuminating pixels. Yeah.
I can definitely understand him. Do we have any more questions, people? Did I miss anybody's question earlier? Feel free to repost them.
Yeah, please do.
I'm not too used to having to check out everything and keep an eye on everything yet. It's been a while.
Yeah, and if you have any question that are going to... I mean, if you missed the stream, because most obviously the stream is going to be reposted on YouTube. And if you have any questions that comes up after the stream, you are absolutely free to drop by our Discord and ask us, and we are pretty open about it and would be very cool. So don't hesitate to drop by to ask questions or only grab the alpha if you feel like it. So that's very cool.
So people are asking if you could jump into a game once more before you entered, if you'd like to.
Yeah, we can do that. I'm going to remove my cheat code and going to try to do a full run without them. I'm just going to roll back all the dirty changes that I've made because I have broke the boss and all my stats. So here we go. And yes.
While you do that, we have someone from our dear villager friends asking if the cucumber will have a goal or use at some point.
Yes, it will. Because we have, in fact, we have this, we have this kind of joke when making games at Flying Hawk Games, that all our games shall be cucumber free. And that's a private joke, mostly because I do not like cucumbers. And in New Voider, we had this joke during... It was a tips during loadings. When there was a loading screen, there was tips written. And there was one of these tips that was, this game is guaranteed to be cucumber free. And this is a joke that stayed. And now there are cucumber Easter eggs in all of our games, and the goal is to make all of our game cucumber free, because our games must be cucumber free. And ScourgeBringer most obviously isn't cucumber free, because if you find a shop, you will maybe going to be able to stumble upon an item that is called the cucumber, and it doesn't seem to do anything when you buy it. And for now, when you buy it, it pops again into the shop. But our goal is to make it like an item that you have to buy to unlock a new slot on the shop. Because when you start the game, if you encounter a shop, you will have 3 different items, and one of them will be always the cucumber. And it will always be there, blocking another possibly cool item to pop unless you buy it once. And once you buy it once, it will disappear from the game, and the game will be properly cucumber free. And that's the idea. We are asking the players to make the game cucumber free, actually.
That should be a $9.99 DLC if you ask me.
So let's try to play correctly this time. So you can't one-shot the mini-boss anymore unless you maybe use your gun, but you are going to put all your bullets on it.
I know a certain someone who will be saddened by that.
Yeah. Oh no!
Bestio, Second World will indeed be in Alpha 5. It's the main part of the new Alpha.
Yeah, sure.
So, yes! You can soon play around in our IC hellscape.
Oh no.
Can't wait. Great player speedrun it. I think we already had a couple people on the Discord talk about how to best speedrun the early alphas.
Yeah,
So
that was a bit crazy because they are trying to speedrun a game that has basically that had basically 20 minutes of content so far. So yeah, that was crazy.
and I mean it's only getting better from here. Didn't see that well. Do the bullets stop by one-way platforms? I think they actually do get stopped by the platforms, don't they?
Yeah, they do.
Awesome. The update is coming Friday, so in 2 days.
Yeah. Friday afternoon if you are on European time. And yeah, and Friday morning if you're on US time.
Yeah, and if you're on the Discord or following the Flying Oak Twitter, you will be notified. Believe me, you will.
Sure.
We have plans. Let's see. Craftus1024 asks, so when you perform air attacks, does it move you in the direction you're attacking only when you hit an enemy? Air combat looks really interesting.
Yeah. So there is a mechanic of air control. So when you hit, when you are in the air, and when you start hitting an enemy, when you start comboing an enemy or trying to go through an enemy with a dash, there is some kind of snap that happens, and the game kind of know what you are actually trying to do and what enemy you are trying to reach. So the game kind of get you more snappy to where exactly you are wishing to go. Oh, no health points, so that's going to be complicated. I'm going to go with the weapon and the fury token. And
I mean, you could, in theory, smash one of those items, couldn't you?
Ah, yeah, sure. I always forget about this. Yeah, I'm going to go in the shop right back. Oh no! Okay, get in the shop so I can smash them. 2 HP, yeah. Oh no, not enough money.
At least we know there is some more HP now.
Yeah. And I can gain some back with this one. Do I really need to get all my HP back?
I would use the 33% one, to be
Yeah.
honest. Chat, I have it on good authority that today is actually Wednesday. I know we all want Alpha 5 to drop. I can understand. I've played Alpha 5. I know that it's good, but we're not quite there yet. I'm sorry for that.
Oh no! Come on. Ah! Oh, I'm really bad. Okay, I'm going to get the 2 HP.
Also, since we have talked about pizza quite a bit, there may or may not be references to the best food on Earth in ScourgeBringer.
Sure.
I just wanted to mention that.
Yeah, it's part of all the Easter egg that is in the game.
Yeah, I just saw that one again, and you know,
Yeah.
once you see it, you cannot unsee it. I'm sorry you lost your lunch break to Alpha 5, Mika.
Is there any HP here? Okay, increase 1 HP. Key 2 HP back. 1 HP increase. And the minigun. I want it. Ah, I knew I was going to get this one, and I just bought HP. Oh. I'm going to buy it anyway.
Oh, that's a good question, actually. Is it crystal or is it ice?
What do you mean? Ah, crystal or ice? Ah, yeah. Kind of look more like ice.
I mean, it could be a crystal-like ice, so that could explain the non-slipperiness.
Yeah, you could.
We can totally bullshit our way through that.
I need to find the boss room yet again.
You can do it. Right, so the branch puzzle is asking what does the key do? Right now it's nothing, but we do have some fun stuff planned for that, right?
Yeah, right.
No spoilers though. I think a key is supposed to open things at some point, so...
It will.
Secret pizza fall? Maybe.
We are still waiting for our partnership with Domino's Pizza.
I told you, I might share the name, but I can't help you with that.
So are we ready? I need to get the minigun. I guess that the minigun is still pretty much unbalanced, and it's going to wreck the minibus. Oh, I fired too early. No. Come on.
You can do it!
And here we go.
Yay!
Woo! I take the easy route with like only the health point, and but here we go. Okay. So that was cool, and I think that this marks the end of this new stream. I hope you liked it. I hope that you found very interesting to get into every specifics of the game. Yeah, if you like what you saw, feel free to drop by the Discord to get into the alpha. You will be able to access this version of the game starting on Friday. Yeah, feel free to send us your feedback, to ask questions, and so on. And yeah, I hope you enjoyed this stream. And of course, it was very cool to have you here. Yeah, so thank you very much. Thank you very much to Dom for getting into doing the interface, let's say. That was very cool to have you with me, and it was the first time that Dom and me made a stream together. We are going to try to make more stream in the future, trying to get also Jonas into it, and maybe he's going to have more stuff also to show you or to make you listen to. Yeah. So
yeah.
Thank you. Don't know if
Thank you for having me.
Yeah, that was cool. Very cool. And don't know if you have any closing word on your side, Dom.
Oh, do I have any closing words? Thanks to everyone for stopping by, and definitely join us on Discord, and definitely sign up for the alpha. It's good. You want to, believe me. And don't forget to follow us on Twitter as well. It's at Flying Oak Games, if I am not completely mistaken.
Yeah.
Do that if you want to see me tweet stuff on like an official studio account, because why not?
Yeah, and if you have any request or anything, you can absolutely ping Dom about it. So that's very cool.
Please do ping me, whether it's via Twitter or on Discord. If you want to know something, if you have ideas or anything, ping me. If you have access to the alpha, use our feedback channels. We are super grateful for all the feedback we get. I need to compile a new list of feedback as well before Alpha 5 gets too far out of hand. So, yeah. It's going to be a lot of fun.
Yeah. So, thank you very much, and see you soon on Discord and on Twitter. Bye.
Bye.